Hello. Just recorded an entire trade breakdown and realized that this little microphone that I have wasn't even turned on. So welcome to today's trade breakdown, sponsored by Disney, as you can see, Disney. Going to be breaking down the trades that I took yesterday. Didn't have time to record trade breakdowns yesterday. So today is the Thursday, the 30th of October. Going to be breaking down the 3 trades that I took yesterday on Wednesday, the 29th of October. So like I say, I took 3 trades, 1 on Euro USD and 2 on XAU USD, so it's gold US dollar. Like all the other trade breakdowns so far, I'm going to break down exactly what I saw, the reasoning behind the trades that I took. There's the charts. So anyone that may have watched the previous videos that I had on Euro USD, that's what I'm breaking down first, sorry. You'll be able to see that overall I am bearish on Euro USD. We're making lower lows and lower highs. We've had this pullback right here. So just quickly go over it. We've got this low right here, or this high right here, sorry, to this low right here, break that low. And then we've got this high right here to this low right here. So I'm expecting price to go from this high right here to deliver a new low right here. So that's what I have in mind overall on a higher time frame perspective. So anytime the lower time frames align with that higher time frame bias, I'm looking to sell. So Euro USD, as I said, we put in this high expecting us to at least reach these lows over here, but we have kind of been trending upwards on the hourly, making higher highs and higher lows. We're kind of just pulling back to deliver a more premium price to take out some buy side liquidity before we start pushing to the downside. So yeah, when I came onto the charts yesterday morning, I noticed that we had a really nice liquidation of this daily high right here, which gave us this impulsive break to the downside, breaking this low that put in this high. So whenever we see, a low, a low get taken out, could be a potential trend shift. Sorry. So yeah, when I saw that low getting taken out, I thought, right, okay, start to look for sells this morning. Makes sense. We've liquidated this high right here. There's not really much reason for price to go higher, and especially with such a strong bearish reaction to liquidating that high, it's logical to assume that we will continue to push lower. So looking at the 15-minute, we had this supply right here, which was what delivered. It's actually an hourly supply, and it delivered the break of structure, which makes it valid, makes it a valid supply. So although we had that hourly supply right there were a few things that were negative confluences towards the trade, which had to be considered before taking. They basically just adjust the entry style that I used, which I'll explain. So what we saw during London Open was we came down and liquidated the previous daily low. An Asia low had already been taken during Frankfurt, during the changeover between Tokyo and London. And when we did liquidate that daily low, we had a big, strong, impulsive push to the upside, breaking this high that delivered this low. So whenever we get a high that's broken, you could potentially see price run further up before it comes down, or it could be the sign of a trend change. So I had to keep that in mind. So what that does is adjusts my kind of entry criteria. So this supply for me is still valid. Overall, higher timeframes are bearish, so sells are still logical, but it does just shift how I took an approach to entering the trade. So the adjustments that I made was that I waited to see what happened when price entered into the supply. I didn't just enter based off price touching the supply or anything like that. I wanted to see a strong bearish reaction and then some order flow shift on the 5-minute. So if we're bullish pushing up to this supply, I want to see price shift to be bearish on the 5-minute once tapped into that supply. So looking at the 5-minute, we can see that's exactly what we got. So price tapped into the supply and had a really strong sell-off, breaking this 5-minute low that put in this high. So for me, that then shows that there is intention to go lower, because we've started to shift the structures on the lower timeframes, aligning with that higher timeframe view. So then I still needed better confirmation to enter the trade. I didn't want to enter just based off of the supply that was created, because I was aware of the strong impulsive break of structure right here. So I needed extra confluence. So I basically waited for a price action based entry. So we tapped into the supply. At this point, I'm waiting for one of my entry candles, which I got right here. We had multiple strong wick rejections to the upside, and then a really nice strong bearish engulfing candle. That was my signal to enter into the market. And as you can see, I entered into the market, the next candle stalled, and then we got a really, really nice sell-off to the downside. This was kind of just after New York opened. So in the UK at the moment, we've moved our clocks back. The States haven't yet, which means that my New York trading session now opens pretty much when my London session window closes. So there's no changeover. Usually I get an hour or so or a couple of hours changeover, but I don't get that now. So that's fine, but I was expecting liquidity to come in, expecting volume to come in, and it did. Really nice push to the downside. And then in the last 5 minutes of this 4-hour candle that closed at 1 o'clock, we just got a really strong 5-minute close. At that point, I moved my stop to be in about 0.5% profit. And yeah, the price just ran, took me out at 0.5%. And then we followed through with this impulsive break of structure right here. And price just ran to the upside, took out some further liquidity above, and then came lower, which is fine. Protected myself by moving my stop when I saw the lower time frame price action shift. But yeah, that was kind of frustrating. That trade would have passed my 100k funded account that I've been hammering out, but it's okay. We move on. So that was the Euro USD trade, 0.5% on that one. Can't really complain too much, so I'm not going to. The other two trades that I took were on XAU USD, so it's gold US dollar. So I'm just gonna daily time frame for this one. So right now gold is heavily bearish and there's so much bearish momentum. So I'm just kind of riding that bearish momentum as best I can. Excuse me. So yesterday we had this massive candle, then this massive candle, and then yesterday's candle was this one right here. We had this imbalance right here, which price was pushing up towards at the point that I took this trade. And for me, I still see gold coming lower. So I was actively looking for sells. So I was very aware that we had a daily high just there and an imbalance right here, daily fair value gap imbalance, whatever you want to call it. But price traded into that imbalance fair value gap and also into a 1 hour supply, a valid supply, which broke this low over here. So a valid supply within a daily imbalance or fair value gap with liquidity sat below in this daily high. Those are lots and lots of positive confluences. So when price entered into that POI, that supply, after liquidating that daily high, I waited for some kind of signal to enter. I got a little bit ahead of myself because I was putting too much pressure on myself to pass this pass this phase of this 100k account. So when I saw lots of sell side rejection and then this bearish engulfing candle on the 30-minute, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the risk, I'm going to take the entry. And we can see that price barely even moved at all, really. Kind of got that entry into the market, put my stop above the highs right here, not high enough. And then my target, my 2.5%. But within an hour, it kind of snapped up, took me out, and I took a full 1% loss on that one. So 0.5% loss for the day at that moment in time. So took 0.5% profit on Euro USD and then took a full loss on that trade. But interestingly, moving straight onto the next trade, when we did, I'm going to jump to the 5-minute just quickly. When we did push up higher and take out those highs, it was actually, again, with the my New York and London session windows that I have, we liquidated that London high that was there, and then we saw a really nice, strong break of structure on the lower time frames. The break of structure that we had on my original trade, I based it all on 30-minute. The lower time frames didn't look that good, so I based everything on the 30-minute. But this second entry, when New York liquidated that London high, really nice, strong, impulsive break to the downside. For me at this point, I was like, right, okay, I'm getting into this sell again. I'm just waiting for a perfect entry. Originally, I had this supply marked out, very, very small supply. But I did in hindsight view that this supply was also valid and it is the one that we tapped into. But because I had that one marked up, I was basically just looking for any reason to enter into the trade. Now, we had a little bit of internal liquidity right here, which added more confluence to this supply being the one that I was going to use. But as you can see, we did actually end up using this supply, but I didn't have that marked. So my entry was actually based upon price action. So we liquidated this high right here. And then I waited to see what we did, and we got this nice bearish engulfing candle on the 5 minute. But at that point, I didn't enter. I was kind of on the back foot. I was kind of not sure if I should enter. I was basically second guessing myself. The pressure of the funded challenge was kind of getting to me, I think, yesterday. But I waited and I waited, and I saw, we just stalled for like 20 minutes. And then I saw this candle push up higher, liquidate some very, very, very minor internal liquidity. And then I was like, do you know what? That candle's closed. We've taken out those highs that are in there. It's so minor. It's not even timeframes I look at. But I'm going to enter. I'm going to do it. I should have more confidence. I always do have more confidence. I trade full time. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself. So I entered into the trade, put my stop above the supply that I was going to enter with. And then, it just proceeded from there. Got a really nice 30-minute, a really nice 15-minute, a really nice 15-minute close where we did come up a little bit higher, but then we got a really nice strong bullish bearish close. And at that point, it was just a case of holding on. Price did slow down a little bit for about 45 minutes, and then we just got a really nice drop. Tapped my take profit almost perfectly, which was really nice. And then as a result of that, I passed the 100K funded challenge step 1 with Quantecal. So that one is now on phase 2. We've got that all set up and ready to go. So yeah, overall pretty good day, 3.4% for the day. We can see here that it took me 7 days with a 60%, we'll call it 60% win ratio to hit that target. Really happy with that. It's hard to not be happy with it, really, isn't it? But yeah, that's that done. And those are the trades that I took. Quite an active day yesterday. Taking quite a few trades. Felt like a lot. I felt like there was a lot of pressure on me yesterday, but that pressure's been lifted. But yeah, I've been trading for almost 5 years, and the past 12 months is when I've actually started taking on funded accounts. I've not used prop firms in the past. Everything was done with my own capital. So yeah, it feels like a lot of pressure, even though running your own account is way more pressure. Anyway, that was yesterday. I hope you enjoyed the Disney sponsored video, and yeah, love you.